You're tuned into Long Island's only FM sports voice. This is Sports Talk on 90.3 WHBC.
All righty, sports fans, coming at you 100% commercial free every Thursday evening from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. right here on 90.3 WHPC, Garden City, New York. This is a little radio program that around here we like to call Sports Talk. And my name is... And we are shot out of cannons tonight because it's, they always call it like Christmas in April. NFL draft night, baby. And it's going off chalk. It's wow. We'll give you an update for those of you who haven't been paying attention to it because it's going fast. And the Jets have made their pick. And let me introduce the fellas first, right over here. Marc Tarkowski.
Yes.
There he is, wearing a Brooklyn Dodgers.
Jackie Robinson.
Incidentally, the Jackie Robinson Museum, they broke ground on it today.
Where is it going to be?
It's on the corner of Varick and Hudson in Tribeca, or is that Soho? Just Tribeca, I think. And 94-year-old, who I think is the most beautiful woman who ever walked the face of the earth, Rachel Robinson, was there. And she's 94, and she was there. With us, Mr. Tristan Hamilton.
I'm very happy.
A man for whom there's a Broadway show about, I believe. I'm not sure. I can't buy a ticket, too expensive.
I'm very happy.
Yes, and we'll get to that in a second.
I just realized that his name.
And over there, Mr. KJ Brooks, our Mr. Brooks. Yes. Mr. Brooks wearing a number 57 jersey of the New York Jets.
Can't wait.
And that used to be in the vault here. That used to be a promo for one of the shows on this. Actually, it was the old. We have a Beyond the Game show now with Jacob and the fellas and lady on Friday from 3 to 4. Is that right?
Yes.
There used to be a Beyond the Game show with a guy named Connor Hickey, and they had that as the promo. The last line said, "Can't wait." It was pretty funny. So they've done the draft, and as expected, the first pick overall, okay, Myles Garrett, which makes sense. You put that guy in your lineup, though he's a Brown now, so I don't know. I think that changes everything. But you put him in your lineup, and he's there for the next 10, 12 years, and he's great. Number 2, so the Bears were supposed to go 3, and the Niners were supposed to go 2. So I guess the Niners call and say, "Hey, Bears, we're getting a lot of people wanting this spot. What you gonna do? You only have to move up one and give us an extra guy because really in the draft you need bodies. That's why people trade for extra picks because these are actually individuals who play a position. So it might be good. Okay, you have a high draft point choice, but you know what? You need more guys to fill holes and spots. So that's why you trade for more picks. So the Bears trade up one and they go for, don't call him Mitchell Trubisky, which I think is check for Jay Cutler. I'm not sure because Mitch Trubisky is Jay Cutler to me, and the Bears now have him. So now you really see Jay Cutler. At 3, the Niners are now there, and they get the guy that they wanted to get. I've got all my NFL.com updates coming on my phone. They get the guy that they wanted all along anyway, Solomon Thomas, out of Stanford, who doesn't even have to move out of his apartment because it's already there in Palo Alto. Then there's 4. And he won't have to pay state taxes, but he will have to be early for meetings because Tom Coughlin's the guy there. Leonard Fournette goes to the Jaguars. Now at 5, the Titans, who kind of are there. I think Titans got 9 wins this year, right? The Titans they're ascending. They're like the Raiders were. They're ascending. They got some good young players, and they go and take a wide receiver out of Western Michigan. He was like Corey Davis? Is that his name?
Davis.
He was the highest valued wide receiver, but he still is the MAC conference out of Western Michigan, which is interesting.
Let's hope he's like Randy Moss.
So then the Jets are at 6 here, and they're looking at every defensive guy they wanted. There's the cornerbacks from Ohio State are there, Lattimore. And then if you talk to anyone in the game, anyone like in the GM positions and everything, they said that there's one guy that's going to play in football. They call him a clean player, meaning no injuries. He just does everything right, good background, all that stuff. Background check, no arrest, no this, that. He's the safety from LSU, and he's there. Jamal Adams. His dad was drafted 19th pick overall by the Giants 30 years ago, played for the Giants 6 years, and we played the NFL 6 years. And Jamal Adams, safety, that's the same thing that happened when Leonard Russell dropped to them. It was like just a logical pick, and it's great move by the Jets. So then the next pick is the Los Angeles Chargers, and all of a sudden there's a run on wide receivers because they have to go and get Mike Williams at Clemson, who we like. We really like Mike Williams, but is it the medical reports on these Ohio State cornerbacks? I mean, what's going on? No, one of the quarterbacks would be a different story, but Lattimore and that's really interesting that those guys have fallen. So
I'm sure I don't know if you heard who just went 8.
Who went 8?
To the Panthers, Christian McCaffrey.
Which is what everyone's been saying logically. What do the Panthers do? They go and take the running back before their running back is done, right? So they've got they did that before with Jonathan with Stewart, and they got
William and the one that plays for the Steelers now, the backup running back.
That's right.
What's his name?
D'Angelo Williams.
D'Angelo Williams. Yeah.
So they've been known to do that. So I say so. So again, so now that makes it. Now McCaffrey, KJ, you said it. Was it last week or the show before where you said, "Look, let's face it. If McCaffrey wasn't white, he'd be a higher draft pick." And it's true. Yeah. It's true. Everyone's like, I don't know what to make of him. All I know is just for the returns alone. He's for returns alone. What you can, which is one of the reasons I was thinking I'd like to see the Chargers. It wasn't going to happen. The Chargers have too many needs, but he would have been exactly what the Chargers had with Darren Sproles. In terms of Phillip Rivers dumps it off to him. Phillip Rivers, they can return kicks and everything. The Chargers need to do something, but now he'll go to a winning team. Imagine Cam Newton with McCaffrey there. That's something you've got to. Already you've got to account for Cam Newton taking off and when the play breaks or whatever. Now you got a perfect guy he can work with, almost like a pick and roll kind of thing in terms of where he's out in the flat when the play goes bad. There's McCaffrey and boom, be an athlete, go crazy. So that is the Panthers really lucked out there, and the Panthers are a team that was in the Super Bowl just a year ago. So you're talking about a Super Bowl team gets down on their luck, gets a 9th pick overall, or 9th, right? 8th or 9th? 8th, I guess.
8th, yeah.
And now they are going to adding him to the fold, and they'll pick early in the second round too. So they'll get a top 40 guy, which works out pretty well. Works out pretty well. And of course, who is NFL.com showing the same route in college? But Darren Sproles.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's going to be the guy they all compare him to. Yep. Which I actually like, because if you notice, just to get to the point that KJ made about, if he wasn't white, he'd be. Usually when they liken a guy or compare to a guy to a certain player, it's always based. It's good to see that Darren Sproles are crossing over. I've never seen that before. I'm very impressed by that, because at least they stay woked. Basically, by doing that, so
I think that he's going to be better than Darren Sproles.
Yeah, and he's got some height to him, doesn't he? I mean, he's got a body. He's family with basketball players.
Like the fact that you can keep pounding the ball, right, and then all of a sudden you can put him out in the slot.
Right. Yeah, he's a wide receiver, he's a running back, and he's a returner, which is. And so now let's think about it. So in the 9th, we're talking about everyone was LSU was going to have a lot of guys in the first round. Ohio State was going to have a lot of first. These are now 2 Stanford guys in the top 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That notable football factory that is Stanford. Yeah. So pretty interesting. David Shaw is the coach there. There could be a guy who could be a head football coach in the NFL someday. David Shaw. You look at the guys who've been Stanford coaches: Dennis Green, Bill Walsh, Jim Harbaugh. That produces some pretty good coaches out there in Stanford. This is Sports Talk, 516-572-7440, 516-572-7440. That's the number to call in. We'd love to hear what's on your mind as we have the NFL first round of the draft going on. At the same time, in the second round of the NHL playoffs, you've got the Rangers playing the Ottawa Senators. We have a score in that game at all? And then the Mets played today.
Lost 5-7.
And lost.
I forgot there was a game.
It's so did I. Daytime, yeah. Because I'm thinking, it's the day game. Usually I love to have day games because then I can have Adam Rubin at night. But I'm thinking, there's other things going on. There's NFL draft, dummy. But, that's...
The Rangers are tied 1-1 in the third.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm telling you, with regards to the Mets, so much of it is just weather related because they've just been playing in the worst. This has been a bad April.
Yeah.
This has been even like this weekend is supposed to be warm but bad or something like that.
Cespedes hurts himself.
And that's right. They bring him back. That's right.
They rush him back, and then he hurts himself.
That's right.
With that hamstring.
He's a gamer. He wants to play. They rush him back, and it's god-awful weather. It's slippery. It's just raw.
He'll be shooting some...
golf. He'll still get his 18 holes of golf in, the 18 holes. Speaking of, that was the guy who first had broken that news of, Cespedes liking to play golf was Francesa.
Yeah.
And did you hear that he was pranked today, apparently, Francesa? Somebody called him up asking what they thought of, I forget the first name of the quarterback, but the last name is Saracen. It's the quarterback from Friday Night Lights.
I got to check out YouTube.
Yeah, and it's like, he's from one of those Texas schools, and for instance, I don't know, it ain't Texas Tech because they got Mahomes. I don't know.
At least he knew him. Like,
right, exactly.
Instead of going on, he's a great.
Exactly, yeah. Like Al. Well, the best was when someone called up about Al Albuquerque.
Yeah,
and he's like, "You just want to get your friend's name on the." And the guy's like, "No, Mike. There's a pitcher. His name is Al Albuquerque. He's in these playoffs. You just want your friend's name out there, so you got your fun. You got your like. No,
we did a half hour.
Yeah, it's like he's a real player, and the guy was a real call. So.
And the Bengals pick are in. And what does the Bengals really need, though? What are they?
I thought the Bengals might have gone. Well, they need a linebacker.
Oh, they picked John Ross.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, surprising.
Maybe they need a new coach too.
They need to win a playoff game. Is what they need to do.
Was wide receivers ever a problem for?
No.
Cincinnati?
Don't they have a great wide receiver?
Yeah. They have
whose name I can't forget. Who's like Julio Jones but isn't?
Green?
Yeah,
AJ
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's surprising. I thought he's really going to drop all the way to the Raiders.
That means there's a run on wide receivers. That's now 3 wide receivers. Okay, so all we heard about this draft was it was going to be a defensive-heavy draft, right? Yeah. How many offensive players have now gone in the first round? I think it's 6 of the 9. The only defensive guys. All right, number one to number one. We got the Jets. We got Myles Garrett. We got Jamal Adams.
We got the guy, the kid from Stanford. Kid from Stanford, right?
Solomon Thomas. Yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah. That's 3. So the rest are 3 wide receivers: McCaffrey, Fournette. Those are 2 running backs, 5, and Trubisky. 2/3 so far of the first round have been offensive players.
I was saying the Bears ruined everything.
Yeah.
They ruined everything.
I'll tell you a funny thing. Right now, there's Ian Rappaport from NFL.com is reporting that the Washington football team is the Browns are talking to the Washington football team about Kirk Cousins. Because they're so flustered by what happened to them with the curveball that was Mitchell Trubisky going to the Bears, because they thought they'd get him at 12. They figured they'd make their pick at 1, Garrett, and get Trubisky at 12. And they're so flustered. But here's the thing with why that would be a stupid move. They're already playing Moneyball and paying Osweiler like $16 or $18 million or whatever because they had to make that deal. Also, Kirk Cousins is a franchise guy. For the second time in a row, right?
Yeah.
He can never be franchised again. If you trade for him today, you have to trade for him before that draft pick, and you have to trade for him as the franchise guy with no deal in place with him. Because he'll be a free agent, lock, stock, and barrel at the end of the year, a free agent.
But he's the type of guy where if you can give him the max, he'll sign with you no matter what.
Right, exactly. Well, all of a sudden, if you call him and say, how you like me now? If you call him up and say, hey, sign this max money right now, 4 years. Or does someone say, what, are you an idiot? All right, play the 1 year in Cleveland, and then you'll be free. Now, next year's draft has the guy Rosen out of UCLA, Darno out of USC. Yeah. So next year's a pretty good to Rosen, to anyone on Long Island?
No, Darno.
Oh, no. I was thinking that because the 2 brothers are baseball players.
I don't trust USC quarterbacks.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Sanchez, Matt Leinart.
Any of them.
And now
Barkley.
The Chiefs took Buffalo's spot at 10 now. So
the Chiefs they went from like 20-something
to take
They
Buffalo's
wanted
spot.
A quarterback, the Chiefs. They were looking at Mahomes. They were looking at Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Because Andy Reid likes those guys.
I think it's Deshaun Watson they might be going for.
Wow.
It might be.
That would be an amazing thing for Deshaun Watson because he wants that.
Yeah.
Because Alex Smith can be released after this year and you save $16 million in cash in doing it.
Yeah.
So
okay. So they jumped.
This
They
will be
jumped
his 13th year, Alex Smith.
Yeah. And because he was in the same draft that Aaron Rodgers was.
2005.
The Nick Mangold, Aaron Rodgers draft. Yeah. That'll be something if they go there because Andy Reid. Andy Reid was the best quarterback coach for Donovan McNabb, and McNabb was the best quarterback for Andy Reid. So if he can have himself another McNabb type, Deshaun Watson is a winner. Yeah. The guy 2 years in a row is in the national championship game. Is a winner, but those are the
and playing against the close. I think he averaged about 40 points against the Alabama defense
against a pro team. Who's going to be drafted all day today? Yeah,
exactly.
So
but he even said it today that it would be a slap in the face if Trubisky was drafted before him.
Yeah, well.
That's what kind of chip he's walking around with.
Which is there's another guy who's walking around with a chip who's got how many Super Bowl rings does Tom Brady have now? And that's the funny thing. Let's just think about what we're talking about here. Everyone's discussing and debating the first round here, whatever. Go wait. 166 picks is where they took Tom Brady. 100. He went in the 6th round, 166 pick. And what's funny, his childhood favorite. He grew up in the Bay Area. His favorite team was the San Francisco 49ers.